this one thing will help you manifest quicker than you ever have before, to the point where you're just thinking about it and it will happen instantly. And this is the key also to raising your vibration. And by the end of this video, if you stick around for that time, I'll be sharing with you 3 tips that will help you with this one thing. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new around here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so then you're notified of when I post a video, because it's my mission to share my message to as many people as possible. So my inspiration for this was because I had a reel on my Instagram kind of go semi-viral, or at least I think it's on like 26,000 views, and that's incredible compared to my couple of hundred views or reaches that I usually get on a reel. And this was talking about how to manifest the best case scenario. And I've had all sorts of comments and DMs from that, like, how, what's the process, what do I do? And it was in the captions that I went into detail of that, but some people it may not have come clear enough across to people, or they just didn't end up reading the captions anyway. So my inspiration for today was to do a long form video discussing what I meant in those captions. So I'll go over a detailed overview of how I manifest things that are quick and easy, and it may not be what you think. So manifesting and raising your vibration go like hand in hand. And the reason for this is because what vibrational frequency you are operating from is what you will manifest. So if you are in a lower vibrational frequency, you are highly likely to manifest things that match that frequency. And this is not to say that if you're thinking something negative, it will instantly happen. So you've got to stay in a positive mindset all the time and think better thoughts, because what that is just spiritual bypassing and bypassing your emotional experience. But manifesting and your vibration play an important role together. And I used to think manifesting was all to do with like law of attraction. You'll attract what you're thinking about. You just have to visualize it and it will happen. And unfortunately, it just doesn't happen like that. And for my spiritual awakening, I discovered like law of attraction, visualization, like meditation. I was aware of that, and I was doing these law of attraction practices to help me manifest. And at that time, I was joined with like a network marketing company, MLM thing. It was selling like eco-friendly products, and obviously they sell you all this like incentive stuff, saying that you'll be like a millionaire if it works and all of that. So I was really driven by that. And I would sit and I'd visualize every day, and I'd write in a journal, and I was hyper focused and fixed on manifesting this dream life and all of this money, and I was determined that it was going to work. And after a few months, I didn't really see any progression, but I consistently carried on and really invested in my time with this. I was part of like the higher up group that invested more money to be part of the kind of a VIP group that would take this program seriously. And then about a month after I joined that group of this company, I had a voicemail on my phone. I missed a phone call, and it was from a man that worked at the UK's #1 vegan magazine. I think it's called Vegan Life. And he left me a voice message asking if I wanted to have a booth, a stall, whatever you want to call it, at their Vegan Life event at Alexandra Palace in London. And I was just absolutely blown away by this, because I had no idea how he got hold of my contact details. I was just completely shocked. I thought maybe it's from like a Facebook group. Did I post, or was it somebody that bought a product from me and passed my details on? I just was completely blown away, and I realized, well, this must be all that visualization process, those meditations, visualizing the best case scenario and attracting that into my life. This would have been a huge opportunity to sell my products, to get more people on my team and really showcase what I'm about. And he offered me, there was one last space, but unfortunately, I just didn't take the leap of faith because I was in fear. And two, I think it was like £900 to have this space, and I just was in no financial situation at that time to pay for that. So I didn't go through with it. But I was completely blown away by how on earth this person got hold of my contact details and wanted me to have a space at a show in London. And that's how I used to believe the law of attraction manifesting would work. We were just visualizing and visualizing and visualizing. It wasn't until my spiritual awakening that I realized what the actual key was to manifesting. And I'll go back to that story of what was actually going on, but I wasn't consciously aware of it until now. And that was how I managed to manifest that man's phone call. This means when I went through my spiritual awakening, I was able to see things from a different perspective. Things were no longer in alignment with who I was. And this meant I was doing the shadow work. I was really heavily focused on shadow work. I just felt this huge calling, this huge pull to go within, to stop bypassing and really begin to process and heal my inner child, do that shadow work. And I went through a process of releasing what no longer served me, what was no longer in alignment with who I am now. Now I've spiritually awoken. And at that time, I was doing some online course, I believe this is like going back nearly 3 years now, 2-3 years. And so I was doing this online course that was teaching me all of these methods to help me to let go of emotional past pain, heal my inner child. That was to help me let go. And this was the key to raising your vibration, was letting go and releasing everything that was causing resistance and holding you back and pulling you down from your vibration being in a higher vibrational set point. So when you're in a higher vibrational set point, you are able to manifest quickly and easily, because we're in higher altered states of consciousness. And when we're in the mental realm, and we're able to just manifest quickly. We're in our gifts, we're in our supernatural powers when we are in a higher vibrational state. That's when you may be able to pick up on who may be calling you. You're able to think the same thoughts as somebody else. You're able to think of something and then it instantly happens. It manifests when we're in a higher vibrational state. So the one thing you must do to manifest quickly is healing your inner child. Doing that shadow work, doing the belief work, getting rid of all of that stuff. And it's simple. You just let go. And when we let go, we let in, we receive. And so that means when we are letting go, we naturally, our vibration will naturally rise. Even when we go through that spiritual awakening process, our vibration naturally starts to rise anyway, because our consciousness begins to expand and is no longer in alignment with those lower vibrational emotions, because we can see it from a different perspective. And when we begin to do that inner work and let go, this amplifies our vibration. So then we become higher vibrational. We feel more blissed out. We feel like nothing can stop us, and we are instantly manifesting. And going back to that story of when I manifested that man's phone call, what I realized I was actually doing was I was taking consistent, imperfect action. I wasn't actually just sitting and visualizing it, or in a meditative state, visualizing the best case scenario. When I was taking these actions, I was actually stepping outside of my comfort zone every single time. I was like going to people's doors, posting the leaflets or the catalogs for these this MLM thing, and that was really outside of my comfort zone to do things like that and face people and take people's orders and do all of that. And doing videos is when I started doing videos online and reaching out to an online audience, and it was really outside of my comfort zone. So I wasn't listening to my ego fears, my inner child wounds. I wasn't listening and paying attention to that. I wasn't letting that operate me. So I was stepping outside of my comfort zone and being in my power. And because of this, I was in a high vibration. And that, I believe, is why I was able to manifest and attract. Because I became more magnetic, because I wasn't letting my inner child wounds come to the surface. I was constantly taking imperfect action. I was consistently showing up every single day. It was never about me just visualizing it. And when I went through that spiritual awakening, I was even in a higher vibrational set point before that time, because things were instantly happening for me. And I remember thinking about my mum one time, and then 5 minutes later she texted me saying she owed me some money. And so I was like, great. She gave me some money. And there was other times where I was just thinking about something and it instantly happened. I was waiting for some package and I was thinking, please, is this package going to come now? And then there was 30 seconds later, it was literally 30 seconds later, I heard a knock at the door and it was the package that came. And these are things that can happen instantly when we are at the same frequency of the energy, the vibration. But we have to do that one thing, which is doing all that inner work, just letting go of all of that resistance so we can rise again. So there are 3 things that will help you to doing that inner child healing, the shadow work, letting go, whatever kind of concept you want to put on it. And the first one is being so powerful for me. It's being kind of almost life-changing. And this is visualization. And visualization is like where, like I've been talking, we visualize it and think in our minds about a scenario. And what I use this for is reparenting my inner child. And if you want to check out my inner child mystical experience, check out this video here, and I dive into a whole experience of my inner child healing practice that works, and it was a mystical experience for me. And so the visualization is very powerful because we can go back and visualize our inner child and be that caretaker that our inner child needed back then and still needs to this day. So the second thing that I love to do, and I always go on about it, but it's so powerful, and that is journaling. Journaling will help us to process emotions. It can create that inner dialogue to help us process what we have maybe been suppressing. It's the channel between you and your higher self. It's the channel between you and your subconscious as well. And so you can get profound insights and help you to really bring to surface things that you may have been suppressing, or things that are actually like for your highest good. And the third and final thing, which I've kind of already spoken about, you may have picked up on it, is actually stepping outside of your comfort zone. Feeling that fear, but taking the courage to do that anyway, because when we're doing that, we're overcoming our inner blocks, we're overcoming our fears that are keeping us stuck in a lower vibration. So when we begin to step outside of our comfort zone, we begin to raise our vibration, because we step up to the emotion of courage, then we step up to the emotion of neutrality and going further and further up, and we become more empowered when we step outside of our comfort zone, because we realize it was never actually that bad, and it's becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable, so becoming comfortable with the unknown. So I hope those tips have been really helpful, and this video is probably a little bit longer than my last few videos. So with that all being said, please do check out this video next, which is again the inner child practice that actually works and my mystical experience with my inner child. So with that being said, I'll see you in that video. Much love.